Georgia State Conference of the NAACP, and it's a pleasure to have everyone here in Atlanta, Georgia, but particularly it's actually Cobb County, Marietta, but it's great for everyone to be here. At this time, I would call on our Religious Affairs Chair for the invocation.
Good morning. Let us pray. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you, Lord, for allowing us to wake up this morning, for choosing us to be in this day, for allowing us, oh God, to see this day, a day that we have never seen before. And God, as we are assembled in this place, we pray, oh Father, that you would regulate our minds, regulate our attitude, regulate our thoughts, and all that we do and all that we say, it will bring glory to you. Now, God, we ask that you would center yourself in the midst of us, that you would lead and guide us in the way you would have us to go. God, our president, oh God, so that he may lead us in the direction which is pleasing to thee, and all those who follow under him, and all of us who participate. God, we bring glory to your name. It is in the matchless name of Jesus the Christ we do pray. And we all said, amen. Amen.
Good morning again. We would like to, and we've already started to, but we would like to divide the House. So all of the delegates should be on this side. If there are not enough chairs, please take a chair over to this side. All the non-delegates should be on this side of the House. So I think the House is pretty much divided. And so with that, I would call on Madam Secretary to call the roll of units in good standing.
If I can get up. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm calling on the units: Atlanta branch, present. Augusta Richmond County branch, present. Bartow County branch, present. Cochran Blakely County branch, Cochran Blakely County branch, Columbus branch, Effingham County branch, Houston County branch, Houston, I'm sorry, Liberty County branch, Lamar County branch, Cobb County branch, McDuffie County branch, present. Newton County branch, present. Rome Floyd branch, Savannah branch, Clayton County branch, Cherokee County branch, present. Henry County branch, present. Waycross branch, present. Mitchell County branch, Fayette County branch, DeKalb County branch, Trulin branch, Griffin branch, Jackson Butts County branch, Macon-Bibb County branch, McDuffie branch, McIntosh County branch, present. Morgan County branch, Newton County branch, Covington, present. Okay, and Pike County branch. Madam Sir President, this is all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, any other branches that I did not call?
Coweta County is present. Dawson Whitfield is present.
Okay, Brunswick branch, because I don't remember calling Brunswick.
Thomas County President.
Okay.
John Fulton. Okay.
What about Brooks County, Candler County? Carroll County, Evans County. Any other branches that I did not call?
Dodge County.
Okay, Dodge County, you're on the list. Thank you. Anyone else I did not call? Okay, President, this is it.
Thank you. You should have a copy of the agenda in your delegate package. If you have a copy of the agenda, please pull it out, and I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as printed in your delegate packet.
Good morning, Mr. President. I'm Dr. Charles Smith, Augusta Branch NAACP. I move that we accept our 81st State Convention agenda as it has been sent out and outlined by the administration.
Thank you, Dr. Smith from Augusta. Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. President.
Please state your name and your branch.
Martha Jackson, DeKalb County Branch.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson from DeKalb County. We have properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve the agenda? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of the approval of the agenda, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by saying nay. Anyone abstaining, please say abstention. Hearing no abstentions and no nays, it passes by unanimous consent. The approval of the agenda motion carries. We also should have in your packet a copy of the 80th State Convention opening and plenary session minutes. I would be open to a motion to approve the minutes from the 80th State Convention opening plenary session. Okay. It's not. Where is it on? It's not on here. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I skipped one. Can we circle back? Just move. I just asked for a motion to.
The agenda, the convention rules are different than the agenda.
I know. Sometimes I just asked for a motion to approve the convention.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I would, before we move to the approval of the 80th Convention opening plenary meeting minutes, I would be open for a motion to adopt the convention rules.
So moved.
Could you stand and state your name and your branch?
Samuel Malone, Fort County Branch, 230.
Thank you. It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second. Dr. Deborah Sykes, Henry County Branch.
Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded.
I would like to amend the convention, amend the rules.
Okay. Could you state your amendment?
Okay, my amendment is the election supervisor committee, the chair of the election supervisor committee shall report the results of the election during the closing plenary session.
Okay. You want that added? Do you want? Okay. Does the moving party accept a friendly amendment to the motion? Okay, could you please state your name and your branch first? Okay, Chair Willis, DeKalb County. Mr. Malone, do you accept that friendly amendment to your motion?
I will.
Okay. Did everybody hear the?
No.
Ms. Willis, could you state it again? Thank you.
Okay, this is an amendment to the convention rules, election supervisory committee. The chair of the election supervisory committee shall report the results of the election during the closing plenary session.
Okay. Did everybody hear the amendment? Okay. That's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the amendment to the adoption of convention rules? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of adopting the convention rules with the amendment, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the same sign by saying nay. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Hearing no nays and no abstentions, it passed by unanimous consent. The convention rules as amended are adopted. Now, yeah, I know. Okay. And I would remind everyone that only delegates can vote. Voting delegates can vote. I will be open now. You should have in your packet a copy of the 80th convention opening plenary session minutes. I'll be open for a motion to adopt the minutes of the 80th state convention opening plenary session.
Mr. President, Reverend Dr. Luther Jackson, I so move.
Which branch?
Houston County branch.
Okay. Reverend Dr. Jackson from Houston County has made the motion. Is there a second on the motion?
Sarah D. Malone, Rome, Floyd County. I like to offer second that motion.
Okay. Thank you, President Malone from Rome has seconded the motion. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of approval of the 80th convention opening plenary session minutes, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Okay, we have one extension. The motion does carry with the one extension. Now, if the chair of the Election Procedures Committee is prepared, we will accept the report of the Election Procedures Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kip Carr. I am a voting delegate of the DeKalb County branch and the chair of the Election Procedures Committee. And the minutes that we just adopted, you will see that I was elected at the convention, the virtual convention that we had last year in 2022. Briefly, the Election Procedures Committee received a number of consent forms by the June 15th deadline that is set in the bylaws for units. After that time, we did receive, I think, a total of 2 candidates that did withdraw from positions, and those positions and forms were sent and vetted by the national office. At this time, I would like to recognize those members of the Election Procedures Committee, and hopefully you are here with us. Charles Brown from the Augusta Richmond branch. Are you here, Mr. Brown? Okay. The Secretary of Augusta Richmond, would you stand, please? Okay. Clyde Rivers of the Cherokee County branch. Mr. Rivers, are you here? Tanya LaFleur of the Cobb branch. Okay. Is there any members of the Election Procedures Committee that I did not name that is here? Larry Lockie from Waycross. Would you please stand? The hardest working man in South Georgia. With the presentation of the Election Procedures Committee report, the Election Procedures Committee will cease to exist because their function for this particular election has been fulfilled. At this time, I would like to make a motion to accept the report of the Election Procedures Committee.
We got to read the names first.
Do I have to read the names?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of those? Just a moment. I got it here somewhere. Oh, hold on. Okay. Eligible candidates for Georgia NAACP office, the 2023 to 2025 term. For President, Gerald Griggs, Michael Terrell, Bobby Worthy. For First Vice President, Kip Carr. There were no candidates to submit consent forms for the office of Second Vice President. For the office of Third Vice President, Wynette Westbrooks of Macon-Bibb. There are no candidates that submitted forms for the offices of Secretary or Assistant Secretary. For the office of Treasurer, Jacques Laurent of the Gwinnett County Branch. For the office of Assistant Treasurer, Louise Thomas of the DeKalb County Branch. For candidates of members at large to the Georgia NAACP Executive Committee, Dexter Benning, Cheryl Cinnamon Baldwin, Brenda Cox, Yvonne Hawks, Larry Lockey, Vivian Moore. For President of the Georgia Youth and College Division, Jaden Williams. And for the advisor of the Georgia Youth and College Division, Kiara Jackson. Have them stand. Candidates, if you are in the House, would you please, yes, Secretary.
Name of the two people who withdrew for a matter of record committee.
Oh, absolutely. The names that we received was Jareen Willis for the office of President, and Tanza Thomas for the office of Secretary. Now, if we have candidates on the ballot, would you please rise and come to the front so everyone can see your nice faces?
Do it by office.
No, just recognize. Tomorrow's for that.
Where you stay?
And now, Mr. President, I move that we accept the report of the Election Procedures Committee.
There's a second. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Dr. Charles Smith, Gus Branch, NAACP, I second that motion.
Motion has been seconded. Is there any further discussion on accepting the Election Procedures Committee report? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? Are we ready for a question? Okay, you have to be audible. All those in favor of accepting the Election Procedures Committee report, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay. Okay. All those abstaining, please abstain. Hearing none, the motion carries. We accept the Election Procedures Committee report. Yeah, I was about to do that. Okay. I want to take a moment of personal privilege as the president to acknowledge our two national board members and our administrators who are now in the House Elder Edward DeBose is present, and Reverend Walker is present as well. Thank you both for being here. We all know that the Georgia State Conference could not function without our two national board members and our administrators, and we just appreciate them being here for the opening plenary session. Thank you. And so now we will move to our election convention committees. There has to be 5 members of each. We have rules, credentials, resolutions, time and place, and election supervisory committee. And so we would be open to nominations from the floor for the first committee, which is the rules committee. We need 5 members to be nominated for the rules committee.
I would like to nominate Kip Carr for the Rules Committee.
Okay, we have 1 nomination. Thank you. State your name and branch. Okay, thank you. We have 1. Yeah, go ahead.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Matthews from Henry County Branch. I'd like to nominate Brother Eugene Stewart.
Okay, we have 2 nominations. Are there any further nominations for the Rules Committee? Don't everybody jump up at the same time. We need 3 more.
Mr. President, can I nominate myself?
Yes, you can.
Okay, Jerome Williams, Columbus Branch.
Thank you, thank you. We have 3, we need 2 more. Okay, and you nominate yourself? Okay, we have 4 now. Well, we had 2 at the same time. Go ahead, right quick.
Martha Jackson, DeKalb County.
Okay, we have 5. So we have the nominations for the Rules Committee. I did see Bobby Worthy stand up. Did you have? Yeah, okay, what do we do when we have 6? We have 5? Okay, sorry, we have 5, so, okay. Is there a motion to accept the nominations from the floor of the 5 members of the Rules Committee?
Mr. President, excavating Bartow County.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded. Madam Secretary, did you get those? Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of accepting the nominations for the Rules Committee, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Hearing none, there's unanimous consent for the nomination of the Rules Committee. We will shift now to credentials. Are there any nominations from the floor for the 5 members of credentials?
Mr. President, I nominate Edwina Clanton, DeKalb County.
Okay. We have 1. Do you accept? Okay. Any further?
Mr. President, I nominate Georgia Hobbs from Atlanta County.
Okay. Do you accept? Yeah. Georgia, where are you? Yeah. Okay, yes. Okay. We have 2 now. Are there any further nominations?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Dr. Matthews, Henry County, I nominate Dr. Deborah Sykes.
Okay. Dr. Sykes, do you accept? Okay. We have 3. Are there any further nominations from the floor? Need 2 more.
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Dr. Rosalind Matthews of the Henry County Branch Credentials Committee.
Dr. Matthews, do you accept? Okay, she doesn't accept.
You said no?
Yeah, she said no. Yeah. You said no, right?
Yes.
Okay. We need 2 more.
He nominated somebody already said.
I'm going to start nominating folks in a minute.
Yeah.
Go. Who had the floor? Okay, go ahead.
President, I nominate Cynthia Finney.
Do you accept? Okay, that's 4. 1 more. Ms. Hillman, do you accept? Okay, that's 5. To the branch? No. Okay. Having 5 nominees for the Credentials Committee, is there a motion to accept the nominees as stated?
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, properly moved and seconded. That's President Conte from Carroll. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Yes. Go ahead.
Can you repeat the nominees, please?
Okay, could you repeat?
Edwina Clinton, Georgia Hobbs, Deborah Sykes, Cynthia Finney, Deborah Hillman.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Debbie.
Debbie Hillman.
Is there any further discussion? Go ahead. No, you have a question? Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, we ready for the question? All those in favor of accepting the nominees for credentials, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed, the same sign. No, say nay. All those abstaining, please abstain. Hearing no abstentions and no nays, it passed by unanimous consent. We will shift now to the Resolutions Committee. Are there any nominees from the floor for the Resolutions Committee? Yes.
When you all make a nomination, somebody, because the secretary is trying to keep track of it, Edward DuBose from the Columbus branch, I nominate John Barrow so that she can hear it real clear, so that she can have a real good recording of the record.
And is that a nominee? Okay. Because it sounded very official, and then I saw John's face. Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. President, Martha Jackson from the DeKalb County branch. I nominate Cherry Willis.
Ms. Willis, do you accept? Okay. We have one.
Dr. Matthews, Henry County branch. I nominate Latasha Jones.
Latasha, do you accept? Accept. Okay. Mr. Lockie in the back, and then Ms. Willis, and then Kip.
Mr. President, I'd like to nominate Dr. Charles Smith of the branch.
Dr. Smith, do you accept? Okay, he accepts. What did Ms. Willis? Or you?
Cherry Willis, DeKalb County, I nominate Martha Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, do you wait, I think, is she on the committee? She's on the committee. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's on the committee. Kip.
How many do we have so far, Mr. President?
I think we have 3.
Okay. Mr. President, I would like to nominate President Sarah Malone of the Roman Floyd branch. Resolutions.
President Malone, do you accept?
Yes.
Okay, she accepts. So we have 4. We need one more.
President Griggs. Cynthia Finney, Cowardly County branch. I nominate Felita Allman.
Ms. Allman, do you accept?
I accept.
Okay. We have 5. And so I would be open to a motion to accept the nominees from the floor for the Resolutions Committee.
So moved. Louise Thomas, DeKalb branch.
Okay, it's moved by Louise Thomas of DeKalb. Is there a second? Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any? What's that? What was his name? State your name one more time. And that's Waycross. Yes. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of accepting the nominees from the floor for the Resolutions Committee, please say yes. Yes. Okay. All those opposed, please say no. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Hearing no noes or no abstentions, the motion carries by unanimous consent. We will now shift to the Time and Place Committee. Are there any nominations from the floor for, don't everybody raise your hand at the same time, but yeah, okay. We will go with President Malone, then Kip, and then Ms. Willis. Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, since we have an administrator, we will go to the administrator first. You would say?
County, I nominate Ms. Countess Wilkerson.
Ms. Wilkerson, do you accept? Okay. All right. President Malone?
Sarah D. Malone for Long Floyd County Branch. I would like to nominate Sam Malone, please, for Long Floyd County.
Look, Sam, do I have to ask you? I think your wife just kind of volunteered you. Okay. Okay, any? Yeah. I'm sorry, time and place. Yes.
I would like to nominate Shirley Jackson. Lucinda Brown, Thomas County would like to nominate Shirley Jackson, Thomas County for Thomas.
Ms. Jackson, do you accept? Okay, she accepts. We'll have 3 now? Okay. Ms. Willis and then Kip.
Chair of DeKalb County, I would like to nominate Edwina Plant.
I thought she's on the committee. Yes.
Dr. Matthews, Henry County, I'd like to nominate Ken Jones.
Mr. Jones, do you accept? You accept? Okay. We need one more.
I'd like to nominate Louise Thomas.
You nominate yourself?
Yes.
Okay. We now have 5 for time and place. Do we have a motion from the floor to accept those nominees from the floor?
So moved. Gene Stewart, Henry County.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any? Miss, could you stand up and state your name one more time and your branch?
Michelle Collins, Montgomery County.
Who? I forgot. Could you stand up and state your name one more time for the record?
Gene Stewart, Henry County.
Thank you. Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the motion to accept the nominees for time and place? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of accepting the nominees from the floor for time and place, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Hearing no abstentions and no nays, it passes by unanimous consent on time and place. We will now shift to the Election Supervisory Committee, and the nominees from the floor are open.
President George Pauls,
Do you Michelle Collins, do you accept? Yes. Okay, she accepts. Mr. Lockie? Or yes. Is she on one? Lucinda Brown. Yeah, you said Lucinda Brown, right? Yeah. She good? Okay, she's good. Okay, does she accept though? Okay. President Malone.
Thank you, sir. Sarah D. Malone for Long Floyd County Branch. I would like to nominate with her permission, and I'll spell it D-E-B-R-A, Deborah, last name P-O-U-R-Q-U-O-I, and she is from the Dalton-Whitfield County Branch.
Okay, does she accept? Okay, thank you. That's coming too. Yeah. We have.
I'd like to nominate Ms. Allen from the Richmond County Branch.
Ms. Allen, do you accept? Okay. Sarita. Okay, Dr. Matthews.
Dr. Matthews, Henry County Branch, I'd like to nominate Dean Roberts.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. You say that one more time? Say it one more time.
Brother Dean Roberts, Henry County.
Dean Roberts, do you accept? You accept? Okay.
Shirley Jackson, Thomas County Branch, I would like to nominate Mr. Larry Lockett with Boston.
Huh? That was the last one? I think Dean Roberts was the last one. Yes.
I'd like to nominate Reverend Ezekiel Holly, the chair of County Branch, to the Election Supervisory Committee.
Okay. Did you get that one, or do we have 5? Oh, we been had 5? Okay. Yeah, we have 5. Sorry about that.
Could you name the 5?
Could we name them?
Michelle Collins, McDuffin, Lucinda Brown, Thomas, Deborah Boyd, Paqua, Dalton, Sarita Allen, Augusta, and D. Robbins Henry.
Okay, you got those?
Roberts.
All right, having 5 for the Election Supervisory Committee, I would now be open to a motion to accept those nominees from the floor.
Mr. President, Dr. Charles Smith, Augusta Branch, 5165 Augusta, Georgia. I move that we accept the nomination for the Election Supervisory Committee.
Is there?
Kip Carr, DeKalb County Branch, I second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. You got both of those? Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion to accept the names and nominees for the Election Supervisory Committee?
Yes, Mr. President, could the secretary,
The Secretary.
secretary name those, call out those names?
Sure.
Let us hear them.
The last 5.
Yes.
Michelle Collins, McDuffie, Lucinda Brown, Thomas, Deborah Purpoir Dawson, Sarita Allen, Augusta, Dean Roberts Henry.
You got it? Okay. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we're ready for the question. All those in favor of accepting the nominees from the floor for the Election Supervisory Committee, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, please signify by indicating nay. All those abstaining, please indicate by saying abstention. Hearing no nays and no abstentions, it passes by unanimous consent. Those are the committees that have been duly elected by this body. We will now shift to the action item for our opening plenary session, and it's something that's very exciting to me. Just by way of personal privilege, I want to bring to this body how this idea generated. We were up in Boston at the National Convention, and I and several members of the Georgia State Conference were marveling at the wonderful convention that Boston put on. And I believe Elder DuBose said we should have a convention in Georgia. And of course, I breathed hard because it's a lot of work to put on the convention. But I agree. And so we have endeavored to start the conversation, but of course we cannot have conversation and action without bringing this to the body. And so the action item would be the question of whether Atlanta, Georgia, should host the 2028 National Convention for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And let's be clear, if Atlanta is hosting it, it's going to take the work of the entire state conference to put it together. So I would be open to conversation on that action item to hear from the body on their pleasure on that action item. Well, I can't motion it. I'll be open for a motion on the action item. 2028. Okay. Well, there's a motion. Okay, go ahead.
So if a motion is adopted, what exactly will that do?
Well, then we would have to create a committee to make a proposal at the next convention. And I think that Elder DuBose has an idea of how we can move that forward. But before we even go down that road, we have to present it to the body for consideration and a motion to start the process. So if this body is comfortable with this, we can delve deeper into forming a committee and then starting the process.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I, Dr. Charles Smith, move that we accept the recommendation from Elder DuBose, our national board member, that we put together an action plan to host the 2028 National Convention in Atlanta, Georgia, and the state of Georgia for 2028. That's my motion.
Thank you. Is there a second? Okay, brother. Oh, okay, Brother Malone. Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on? Oh, is there any discussion on the motion?
I just have a point of clarity, Brother President, Dr. Matthews, Henry County Branch. I just want to make sure that everyone understands that we are, excuse me, make sure that everyone understands that we're saying that it will be hosted in Atlanta, but it's not the Atlanta branch.
No.
We just want to make sure that that's clear.
Let me clarify. What we saw in Boston, there's no way one branch can put that on. Okay, and let's be clear, and I'm taking off my state president hat for a moment, and I'm speaking as the Atlanta branch president. There's no way one unit can put on a national convention. And so what we would be endeavoring to do is for the metro Atlanta counties, for the metro Atlanta counties in partnership with the rest of the state conference to figure out a way to put on a national convention that reflects the entire state of Georgia. You know, many of y'all were around when we had the Olympics. And the Olympics were in Atlanta, but they were in Georgia. And so that's what I'm talking about if we endeavor to do this.
So,
yes.
So let me kind of break this down for y'all. When the proposal goes forward, there has to be a branch name on it. They're not going to accept the metro county. There has to be a name on it. It's been 1997, you count the years since it's been in Georgia.
98.
98, that's right. That was the But the other part of that, where the work is concerned, myself and my colleagues and some of the state team is, you don't just say you're going to vote for it and then vote and everybody in the national say, great, y'all can have it. No, this right here just starts the process. We're going to have to walk up there with a $250,000 check. Now, don't panic. The units are not going to have to do that. The units are not going to have to do that. Myself, my colleague, and some of you all who know how to sit at the table will go to some of the corporations who will benefit because they're going to get money from the convention being Baltimore made Boston. Boston made a lot of money off of black folks. And Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia will too. And so it has to be a name attached to it. And that name has to be, it doesn't have to be the Atlanta branch, but that is the most, when everybody think of the city of Atlanta, whether it's Cobb County, whether it's Henry County, whatever, they think of Atlanta. But it is, like the president said, going to require the work of everybody, because when the convention comes here, we all look good. And by the way, mark the dates. October the 19th through the 21st, the national board will be in the state of Georgia for the first time, I think, in over about 20 years. And so if you want to see how the national board meet and operate as we talk about national convention, or you just want to know how your folk may vote, come to the Hyatt. I think that's in Atlanta, isn't it?
Yeah, the Hyatt's in Atlanta.
Right. So those two parts of that. So I just wanted to make sure the president is on point, but when you vote, it has to be attached to a branch, and those are the requirements. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to get it in 2028, but I'm told by Chairman Turner, when I put the proposal to him, if y'all bring $250,000, we already want to come y'all way.
So, go ahead.
Mr. President, let me just echo what Administrator DeVos just stated. Kip Carr, DeKalb County branch. I was a member of the Atlanta branch in 1998. Administrator Walker, I'm sure you probably remember the national convention that was downtown. The late John Dale Johnson, who of course was the executive director of the Atlanta branch, took me to some of the meetings with the corporate leaders, Jesse Hill and giants like that. But I can tell you what I remember, the state conference was not really that engaged in the national convention. As someone who was there, someone who was a volunteer, and that was something that I observed and I have not forgotten. So we have an opportunity that once we bring it back, that we have a collective involvement all throughout, not just around 285, but the entire state of Georgia.
Exactly. I agree. And what I would like to reiterate, thank you, Kip, for lifting that up. You know, I remember parts of the 98 convention. I wasn't an active member at that point, but what Well, it was still discussion. Can I just finish? Thank you. This will be an entire Georgia endeavor, is what I was going to say. And so I do see one more question in the back.
2 minutes.
Okay.
My name is Alice Jones, and when you start talking about a national convention, that's a huge undertaking. And you might want to take into consideration having a professional organizer or an organization that does that, to do that kind of thing. Because I've done events before, but I'm an amateur.
Okay.
When you consider something that huge, you may want to consider it, and you're going to talk about the cost involved. So all those, little bits and pieces need to be put together by a committee created in order to move forward, so that we have a very successful and efficient event.
Thank you for lifting that up, and I definitely agree. So there's a motion on the floor. Is there any further discussion on the motion? And please remember that this motion is to start the process. The process is not going to be complete by this vote.
Mr. President, it's not a motion, but it's a comment. The Bowes mentioned the national board meeting. And so I suggest that we send that information out to the secretary, because you can have all units for anyone that want to attend.
Okay, yes, definitely. Yes. Okay, okay. So is there any further discussion on the motion? Could you repeat the motion?
The motion to accept was made by.
Okay, go ahead.
Motion to accept was made by Mr. Charles Smith, Augusta, Mr. Sam Malone, Rome.
And they were asking what the motion was.
It's on the program.
28.
For Georgia to host the 2028 National Convention is the motion. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, are we ready for the question? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say abstention. Okay, one abstention. Okay. The motion carries. We will start the process of having the conversation about Georgia hosting the 2028 National NAACP Convention. And so with that, we have reached the end of our agenda. I will be open for a motion to adjourn.
Mr. President?
Yes.
Kip Carr, DeKalb County Branch. I make a motion we adjourn the open plenary session.
Okay, do you have one question before we? Okay, go ahead. Hold on, she got a question.
May I make an announcement?
Yes, I got you too.
I'd like to make an announcement. Some of you are getting the information. Are there any veterans in the room? If you're a veteran, please stand. If you're a veteran. Okay. If you are a veteran, you served in the military in some branch, please stand for a minute. If you have got a motion on the floor. It's what now?
There's a motion on the floor.
Oh, okay. To adjourn, right?
Yes.
But we've got, I wanted to make a announcement. How do we handle that parliamentary?
After he second, after he received a second, then he asked for a question.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So you second. Okay. Is there any further discussion on the motion?
I like that. I like to keep it in order. Now veteran. Please thank you. This is the announcement that I'm making. If you are a veteran, you serve, we allow
You did not carry the motion.
Well, I asked for discussion.
It's on the motion, though.
I'm not the part. Y'all tell them how to handle it. I just want the veterans in there.
Okay, well, let's do the.
His discussion is not on the pertaining to the motion.
So go ahead and.
Okay, is there any further discussion on the motion?
Point of order.
Yes.
Once you run that motion there for adjournment, then that meeting is over with. So What he needs to do, this here is keeping from the meeting from being over with so they can go into the minutes.
Then he can give personal privilege to make that announcement.
Yeah, he can.
Okay, so I can rescind the motion, right? How about this? How about this? We're going to adjourn the meeting and we just call for y'all to sit for a minute to listen to the announcement. Oh, yes. What is a question on the motion? Yes.
All right, I know, I was trying to answer. Okay, so my question, I'm Cynthia Fanning, County Branch. My question is, when will we address a committee for the gathering the information for the 2028 convention? No, I want to know, I know it's to come, but is it going to be after the convention that we ask for people to volunteer?
Well,
I just want to.
yeah, I think it'll probably be after the convention, but I'll get you more information before the convention's over.
All right.
Okay? Okay.
Got another stand.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Sarah D. Malone, wrong voice. I would like to say, Mr. Williams was absolutely correct in his statement. Just because his motion is second that we adjourn doesn't mean President Griggs will adjourn. We will have time for administrative votes to recognize or make his announcement. Then the president will close. So I think we will carry the motion.
If you want it in the minutes.
Well, I mean, I want it in the minutes. Okay. What? Question. Can I just take a
You can still have it in minutes. If you take a point of privilege as the president to keep this adjourned and make your announcement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Point of order. We're going to adjourn the meeting, and then as a point of personal privilege, I'm going to allow Administrator DeBose to make his announcement. Please, nobody leave the room.
Thank you.
Okay.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned. Point of personal privilege.
Now, I'm almost in a panic to ask the question. I have created trauma. Please, can the veterans stand just for a moment? All of the veterans, you serve this country.
Yes, yes.
Now, there's a part two to that. This year, we are celebrating the veterans. Many of you already know that. This is the 75th year of the integration of African Americans into the military. It doesn't mean we haven't already been fighting. It just means that Truman signed Executive Order 9981. As a part of that, and for the first time, National is putting emphasis on veterans and active duty soldiers. As a part of that, we have a membership drive where we are targeting veterans and active duty military. And if you are in the state of Georgia in some units, you should begin to receive information about this membership campaign. We have about 6 or 7 or 8 people that are going to be giving you tools like social media type tape to put out in your community to talk about the reason it's so important for veterans to join the NAACP. For one reason, black veterans, women and men, have always voted in record numbers. That's one reason. Another reason is people who have served in the military generally know how to organize things, not against anybody else. And so we are reaching out now to recognize not just black men veterans, but black women veterans who have served in this country. There are so many issues. I chair on one of my committees the most, out of all of the time I've served on the national board, this is the most important. The Armed Services Veterans Affairs Committee. Some of you may not know, we now have a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Why is that important? Because some of you in the room or some of the people you know have been applying for disability and they have died, black soldiers, and never died. A lot of women veterans, many of you may not know, are homeless. after serving their country and fighting in war, and their children are on the street. We now have a memorandum of agreement that says we're going to sit at the table and we need to right a lot of these wrongs that have happened in VA. And now, for the first time in the Department of Veterans Affairs, there is a black woman who is the highest woman to ever hold the position of Deputy Secretary or any position in the Veterans Office. And her name is Tanya Bradshaw. And so, as a part of this membership campaign, Dexter, wave your hand, he's all the way in the back, look at it. He is the chair of the State Conference Armed Services and Veterans Affairs Committee. Y'all please help Georgia recruit veterans, not just to bring them in as a membership, because membership means nothing if we don't help them. It means nothing if we don't help them. So the goal now is, let's go out and we want to recruit white veterans too, not just black veterans, white veterans too, because white and black veterans understand when something is wrong, it needs to be corrected. So the high point of it all is going to go from, it's already started now, it goes all the way to February the 12th, which is the birth of the organization, and the high point is November the 11th. What's November the 11th, veterans?
Veterans Day.
What's November the 11th, veterans? Veterans Day. That is the high point where we want to maximize the number of people that we recruit, and that will be a reward at the end. And now we have created, when a member who is a veteran or active duty go to get their membership, you'll notice that we have created a drop-down box that asks the question that they never ask. Are you a veteran? What branch of service are you in? Even your rank. Because we want to know where you are, what you're going through, and how we can help you. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. And just
3 o'clock today, we're going to have a committee meeting today with someone from the state office. 3 o'clock today.
And just by way of announcement, civic engagement will be in this room. Just give us a moment to rearrange. And then at 11, there's mandatory unit training. Just look at your agenda in the book. And with that, you are dismissed to go to civic engagement or whichever workshops you want to go to.
Mr. President,